Hello, welcome to Caleb's Corner. I'm Caleb Koblenz, and today we have with us Mr. Todd Karnofsky, the new coordinator for Evergreen Transition Program. Thank you for joining us, Todd. Please tell us about your family.
Thanks, Caleb, for having me. I'm excited to be here. About my family, I grew up in Kelso Longview area in Washington and have lived in the Vancouver or Clark County area now since 2002. And I have two children, a 13-year-old who goes to Amboy Middle School and a 10-year-old who goes to York Elementary. And my wife works for Evergreen Public Schools, like I do.
Have your kids seen the movie, Monsters, Inc.?
Yeah, we really like that movie.
If you were a character in the first Monsters, Inc. movie, which job would you want?
Wow, that's a good question. Oh, wow. Hmm. I guess if I was a character, I wouldn't want to be like Water News, the boss guy, the tarantula looking guy, but I would want maybe that position to help others.
Me too.
That's awesome.
What was your first job or volunteer experience?
Oh my goodness. Well, I can answer both of those. My first volunteer experience was actually at a baseball field. We used to have to put up these signs that you would see out in the outfield that has like the ads on it. My first job was a babysitter. So when I was 12 years old, my mom made me go through the baby.
Hello, welcome to Caleb's Corner. I'm Caleb Koblenz, and today we have with us Mr. Todd Karnofsky, the new coordinator for Evergreen Transition Program. Thank you for joining us, Todd. Please tell us about your family.
Thanks, Caleb, for having me. I'm excited to be here. About my family, I grew up in Kelso Longview area in Washington and have lived in the Vancouver or Clark County area now since 2002. And I have two children, a 13-year-old who goes to Amboy Middle School and a 10-year-old who goes to York Elementary. And my wife works for Evergreen Public Schools, like I do.
Have your kids seen the movie, Monsters, Inc.?
Yeah, we really like that movie.
If you were a character in the first Monsters Inc. movie, which job would you want?
Wow, that's a good question. Oh, wow. Hmm. I guess if I was a character, I wouldn't want to be like Water News, the boss guy, the tarantula looking guy, but I would want maybe that position to help others.
Me too.
That's awesome.
What was your first job or volunteer experience?
Oh my goodness. Well, I can answer both of those. My first volunteer experience was actually at a baseball field. We used to have to put up these signs that you would see out in the outfield that has like the ads on it. My first job was a babysitter. So when I was 12 years old, my mom made me go through the babysitter class, and I was able to go and watch other people's kids and get paid for it.
I have reviewed your resume and I have some questions for you.
Okay.
I see that you started your career in video production. Why did you decide to go back to school for special education?
That's a good question, Caleb. Uh, so at the time that I was working in video production, I actually was working as a paraeducator in some different schools with Vancouver Public Schools. And at that time, I was getting more work in education than I was in video production. So at some point, I had to make a decision to either continue to try to get more work doing video stuff, or keep going with education and see where it was going to take me. And special education was something that I was really excited about working in and really enjoyed the work that I was doing.
What do you like the most about working with students?
Working with students is very rewarding. I guess the best thing about with students is that you get to see the learning happening, and be there as a partner in the learning, and that there's nothing better than to have somebody else like understand something because they've had a conversation with you or were able to work with you. Um, and just to do that over and over again and make people feel successful and feel welcomed, and all those great things that you can do as a teacher. Your students definitely reward you for your effort in those ways by either learning, feeling welcome, being part of the class, feeling like they are successful, all those great things that you want students to feel, or anybody.
What brought you to Evergreen School District?
At the time, I wanted a change. I needed to grow in my own learning. And so Evergreen Public Schools provided that opportunity. They had a more diverse group of students than the school I was previously at. And there was something appealing about that drew me to apply for a position with Evergreen.
In your special education career, why did you choose to work with students with behavior challenges?
I guess not only do I enjoy students that have behavior challenges, uh, I was a person who had some behavior challenges growing up myself and some unique experiences. And so, in some aspect, I guess maybe I had a higher tolerance or maybe more of an understanding of where some of those behavior challenges might be coming from or what they were trying to do with those behaviors that they exhibit. So for me, it felt good to help students learn some of the skills that I had to learn myself to be productive in school.
What do you think is the most important thing to achieve success?
Wow, that's a big question. I would say the most important thing to achieve success is putting yourself around great people and having uh, that ability to work together and learn from each other. Um, the more cohesive the group can be, the more on the same page you can be as a group of folks. Like they say, two heads are better than one, right? And so, and that concept that having a team is really a crucial thing to success.
What has been your favorite job or volunteer experience and why?
Oh my goodness, look at you with these big questions. uh, favorite is a hard one because I have to admit I love my current position as a program coordinator and really have enjoyed and continue to enjoy all the work that I do. Um, I guess one of the things that I really liked was being a volunteer at schools. So in high school, um, I started to volunteer in special ed classrooms, and it was really eye-opening for me because at the time, I didn't realize that there were um, students that didn't read at grade level. That was really kind of a surprising thing. I just kind of, I guess, positively assumed that everybody at my grade was reading at grade level. I didn't realize that some folks might have been behind in that. And so as a paraeducator, it was really, um, well, I at that time I was a volunteer. So I just volunteered to go into this classroom at a middle school and help students learn to read. And I guess really that experience drives a lot of what um, led me to education because I saw all the great things that you can do if you help others out.
Who causes the most trouble, Miss Allison, Miss Connie, or Mr. Charlie?
You're funny. Um, ooh, this is a good one. Uh, hmm, can I say all three? So, wow, the most trouble. They all ask a lot of good questions, and I do really enjoy working with them. Uh, who makes me work the most is maybe Mr. Charlie.
What goals do you have for the transition program in the next 5 years?
That is a wonderful question. So a big thing that we're definitely working on right now is making sure that we have a transition framework that we're all agreeing to. And what that will do is allow us to understand what levels of skills that each student needs to have in a variety of areas, so that they can hit the proficiency measures that we need them to hit in the transition program. Because really our biggest goal is that we want all students to be engaged, whether they're volunteering or in some type of training or college program or some type of part-time or full-time employment once they leave the transition program. And so in order to get there, we have to identify the areas of focus that will help students move in that direction so that they become productive members of the community and reach their post-secondary goals, which are really important pieces. Of course, next year we're moving into the new building. Transition program will have one building, and that'll be pretty fantastic. And I think that will be helpful for the following 4 years to really kind of bring everybody together in more cohesive manner. And then having a framework around what the work that we're doing will guide us in that direction.
Now I would like to ask you for some personal advice. What is the best and worst thing about being the owner/CEO of your own business?
Yes, personal advice. So the best thing about being the owner and is that you get to make a lot of the choices, right? So you get to choose like what's the design, what's the vision, what the clientele that you're going to get, and all that. So you can really make sure that your vision and what you want to do is in place. Probably the downside of that is that you have to balance like here's the money that you need to make in order to really do what you want to do, and then here's your vision. So if those two things don't align, sometimes you have to make those choices to maybe take on some other projects or other clientele that you didn't originally intend to work in or work with, and sometimes that can take you down a different path, and maybe you like it but maybe you don't. So like here's an example, Caleb. So the company that I owned, we started to do wedding videos, and I really got into the business in order to make music videos and movies. And the movies that I wanted had a certain appeal to them, as far as like they really like brought forth some really crucial topics. Um, uh, and so when you hear that I want to do music videos and these movies that are about really intense topics, and the work that we were doing were wedding videos. Um, One, I appreciated the money, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do in video. And two, you have to do a lot of selling yourself and selling your company in order to get the things that you do want. And sometimes you don't get a lot of opportunities to do those things that you want to do. So, um, it does take a lot of effort to get to where you want to be. And sometimes you have to take those little steps in order to get there and not lose hope of your vision.
With your background in video production, what advice do you have for future episodes of Caleb's Corner?
That's great. I would say one, and a cool intro might be neat. I don't know if you're going to do that already. Where you have like some type of music or graphics that kind of show a little bit about what the show's about, or it sets the tone for the video. Um, and then I can see here that you're well prepared. I think that's awesome. So you have all the questions ready, and I'll tell you what, maybe you're enjoying this moment, and that's a good thing, because all the preparation that you do is important, because this should really be like fun, right? We should be playing. We are. Hopefully, you are having fun. I'm having fun, and all the preparation that you do for that is so important, because in the moment where you're performing, like right now, it should be fun, because you did all the work already to prepare for that moment.
You've had a very inspiring career path. Thank you for sharing your journey with us today, Todd. We're looking forward to seeing where you take the Evergreen Transition program. Do you have any final thoughts?
Thanks, Caleb, for having me. And I hope a lot of people watch this video and find this interesting. And I'm sure you're going to have lots of great um, participants in the future and other conversations in the future with other folks. So this is awesome. I really appreciate you taking time today to talk to me.
Thanks for watching. Now we have Edumacate Edu. Peace.
Babysitter class, and I was able to go and watch other people's kids and get paid for it.
I have reviewed your resume and I have some questions for you.
Okay.
I see that you started your career in video production. Why did you decide to go back to school for special education?
That's a good question, Caleb. Uh, so at the time that I was working in video production, I actually was working as a paraeducator in some different schools with Vancouver Public Schools. And at that time, I was getting more work in education than I was in video production. So at some point, I had to make a decision to either continue to try to get more work doing video stuff, or keep going with education and see where it was going to take me. And special education was something that I was really excited about working in, and really enjoyed the work that I was doing.
What do you like the most about working with students?
Working with students is very rewarding. I guess the best thing about with students is that you get to see the learning happening, and be there as a partner in the learning, and that there's nothing better than to have somebody else like understand something because they've had a conversation with you or were able to work with you, um, and just to do that over and over again and make people feel successful and feel welcomed, and all those great things that you can do as a teacher, your students definitely reward you for your effort in those ways by either learning, feeling welcome, being part of the class, feeling like they are successful, all those great things that you want students to feel, or anybody.
What brought you to Evergreen School District?
At the time, I wanted a change. I needed to grow in my own learning. And so Evergreen Public Schools provided that opportunity. They had a more diverse group of students than the school I was previously at. And there was something appealing about that drew me to apply for a position with Evergreen.
In your special education career, why did you choose to work with students with behavior challenges?
I guess not only do I enjoy students that have behavior challenges, uh, I was a person who had some behavior challenges growing up myself and some unique experiences. And so, in some aspect, I guess maybe I had a higher tolerance or maybe more of an understanding of where some of those behavior challenges might be coming from or what they were trying to do with those behaviors that they exhibit. So for me, it felt good to help students learn some of the skills that I had to learn myself to be productive in school.
What do you think is the most important thing to achieve success?
Wow, that's a big question. I would say the most important thing to achieve success is putting yourself around great people and having uh, that ability to work together and learn from each other. Um, the more cohesive the group can be, the more on the same page you can be as a group of folks. Like they say, two heads are better than one, right? And so, um, and that concept that having a team is really a crucial thing to success.
What has been your favorite job or volunteer experience and why?
Oh my goodness, look at you with these big questions. uh, favorite is a hard one because I have to admit I love my current position as a program coordinator and really have enjoyed and continue to enjoy all the work that I do. Um, I guess one of the things that I really liked was being a volunteer at schools. So in high school, um, I started to volunteer in special ed classrooms, and it was really eye-opening for me because at the time, I didn't realize that there were um, students that didn't read at grade level. That was really kind of a surprising thing. I just kind of, I guess, positively assumed that everybody at my grade was reading at grade level. I didn't realize that some folks might have been behind in that. And so as a paraeducator, it was really, um, well, I at that time I was a volunteer. So I just volunteered to go into this classroom at a middle school and help students learn to read. And I guess really that experience drives a lot of what led me to education because, I saw all the great things that you can do if you help others out.
Who causes the most trouble, Miss Allison, Miss Connie, or Mr. Charlie?
You're funny. Ooh, this is a good one. Uh, can I say all three? So, wow, the most trouble. They all ask a lot of good questions, and I do really enjoy working with them. Uh, who makes me work the most is maybe Mr. Charlie.
What goals do you have for the transition program in the next 5 years?
That is a wonderful question. So a big thing that we're definitely working on right now is making sure that we have a transition framework that we're all agreeing to. And what that will do is allow us to understand what levels of skills that each student needs to have in a variety of areas, so that they can hit the proficiency measures that we need them to hit in the transition program. Because really our biggest goal is that we want all students to be engaged, whether they're volunteering or in some type of training or college program or some type of part-time or full-time employment once they leave the transition program. And so in order to get there, we have to identify the areas of focus that will help students move in that direction so that they become productive members of the community and reach their post-secondary goals, which are really important pieces. Of course, next year we're moving into the new building. Transition program will have one building, and that'll be pretty fantastic. And I think that will be helpful for the following 4 years to really kind of bring everybody together in more cohesive manner. And then having a framework around what the work that we're doing will guide us in that direction.
Now I would like to ask you for some personal advice. What is the best and worst thing about being the owner/CEO of your own business?
Yes, personal advice. So the best thing about being the owner and is that you get to make a lot of the choices, right? So so you get to choose like what's the design, what's the vision, what the clientele that you're going to get, and all that. So you can really make sure that your vision and what you want to do is in place. Probably the downside of that is that you have to balance like here's the money that you need to make in order to really do what you want to do, and then here's your vision. So if those two things don't align, sometimes you have to make those choices to maybe take on some other projects or other clientele that you didn't originally intend to work in or work with, and sometimes that can take you down a different path, and maybe you like it but maybe you don't. So like here's an example, Caleb. So the company that I owned, we started to do wedding videos, and I really got into the business in order to make music videos and movies. And the movies that I wanted had a certain appeal to them, as far as like they really like brought forth some really crucial topics. Um, uh, and so when you hear that I want to do music videos and these movies that are about really intense topics, and the work that we were doing were wedding videos. One, I appreciated the money, but it wasn't really what I wanted to do in video. And two, you have to do a lot of selling yourself and selling your company in order to get the things that you do want. And sometimes you don't get a lot of opportunities to do those things that you want to do. So, um, it does take a lot of effort to get to where you want to be. And sometimes you have to take those little steps in order to get there and not lose hope of your vision.
With your background in video production, what advice do you have for future episodes of Caleb's Corner?
That's great. I would say one, and a cool intro might be neat. I don't know if you're going to do that already. Where you have like some type of music or graphics that kind of show a little bit about what the show's about, or it sets the tone for the video. And then I can see here that you're well prepared. I think that's awesome. So you have all the questions ready, and I'll tell you what, maybe you're enjoying this moment, and that's a good thing, because all the preparation that you do is important, because this should really be like fun, right? We should be playing. Hopefully you are having fun. I'm having fun, and all the preparation that you do for that is so important, because in the moment where you're performing, like right now, it should be fun, because you did all the work already to prepare for that moment.
You've had a very inspiring career path. Thank you for sharing your journey with us today, Todd. We're looking forward to seeing where you take the Evergreen Transition Program. Do you have any final thoughts?
Thanks, Caleb, for having me. And I hope a lot of people watch this video and find this interesting. And I'm sure you're going to have lots of great um, participants in the future and other conversations in the future with other folks. So this is awesome. I really appreciate you taking time today to talk to me.
Thanks for watching. Now we have edumacated you. Peace.